Hey everybody, thank you for joining me here at Cook's Corner. It is really nice to be back here, and it's been a while. I have missed it, so I'm really glad to be back. I'm really glad that you're joining me. If you were in any of my Cook's Corner classes before, or if you know anything about me, you know that I have a wicked sweet tooth. And if I'm being honest, I really have a whole mouthful of sweet teeth. So it will come as no surprise that we are starting this session of Cook's Corner with a dessert. And my favorite dessert, if I had to pick, is probably cheesecake. But cheesecake can be a little intimidating if you're starting out cooking. If you haven't cooked a cheesecake before, the thought of making a cheesecake can be a little scary. A lot can go wrong by just doing a little thing wrong in the process. So I'm going to show you a really easy way to sort of get over that fear of cheesecake. We're actually going to put it into a bar. So we're going to make a really easy version of a cheesecake. And it's incredibly simple. This is called a Snickerdoodle cheesecake bar. So if you know what a Snickerdoodle is, it's basically a sugar cookie with a nice cinnamon sugar crunch on top. So you really can't go wrong with a cinnamon sugar cookie and a cheesecake bar. So I'm going to show you how to make the cheesecake. It is incredibly easy. It is 4 ingredients, and really all you have to do is mix them together. So let's get started. Alright, so now that the cream cheese filling is made, we're ready to move on to the Snickerdoodle. So this is the Snickerdoodle recipe. If you've never had a Snickerdoodle, I recommend you go out and just either make them or buy them. Snickerdoodles are, it's just such a good cookie. It's basically a sugar cookie with cinnamon inside, and then it's kind of rolled in cinnamon and sugar. So you get like a nice, the warmness of the cinnamon. It's just a great cookie. So we are going to basically make a giant Snickerdoodle bar. It's basically a giant Snickerdoodle cookie. So if you've ever made cookies before, cookies are pretty much the most forgiving dessert you can make, as long as you follow the same process. You put all your wet ingredients in a bowl, mix them, all your dry ingredients in a separate bowl, and mix those, and then mix the two together. So that's what we're going to do right now. There are a few more ingredients. This is probably twice as many ingredients, but it's still really simple. You just add the dry ingredients to one bowl, the wet ingredients to another bowl, and then combine them. So let's show you how easy these are to make. Okay, so now that we have our Snickerdoodle bar dough ready to go, and we have our cream cheese filling ready to go, we're ready to put this thing together. So it's really simple. It's really not that many ingredients. So this goes together really quick. So one tip I will give you is when you, we're going to put this through a 13 by 9 pan, and I would recommend putting a little piece of parchment paper underneath and then pull the sides up over the side. So what that'll help us do is once it bakes, we'll kind of trim along the edges there, and then we'll be able to pull the whole brownie out, and then we'll be able to get like the nice perfect squares that you see sort of presentation-wise at restaurants and fine gatherings. So this is just parchment paper and spray. If you don't have parchment paper, you don't want to do that, don't worry about it. Just make sure you spray the bottom of the pan. So we're going to set this off to the side. So we're going to take about 2/3 of our Snickerdoodle dough and we're going to press it into the bottom and press it down really good because we want like a really nice compact brownie on the bottom. And then we're going to pour our cream cheese filling over the top of that. And then we're going to take the rest of the Snickerdoodle dough and we're going to kind of break it up into big crumbles on the top. And then after that, we are going to make a little cinnamon sugar mixture to pour over the top. So that's what's going to kind of give you that nice, warm, crunchy bite that you get from the Snickerdoodle bar. And then this is ready to go in the oven. This is how simple this is to make. So let's show you how to make these bars. Alright, we are almost finished. All we have left to do is sprinkle our cinnamon sugar mixture over. This is literally just cinnamon sugar mixed together in a bowl. We're going to do a nice, healthy sprinkle over the top. Make sure you cover all of the cookie batter dough and the cream cheese filling. And this will sort of give you that crunch that you get when you're eating a Snickerdoodle. And when this is done, we're going to throw this into a 350-degree oven for about 35 to 40 minutes. When it comes out, the cookie dough will be nice and golden brown, and the cheese mixture in the middle, it will still jiggle a little bit in the middle, but it won't look like it's still wet in the middle. It'll kind of move as one cohesive, weird blob. And that's when you know it's done. And it will actually continue to cook as you let it cool. Now the hard part is you have to let this cool for 4 to 6 hours at least. Overnight is best. Let it set out at room temperature for about 2 hours and then maybe throw it into the fridge for a couple hours. And then you can cut it up and you can eat it. So we're going to put this in the oven right now and we'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Alright, so these cheesecake bars have cooled completely. I made them yesterday and I put them in the fridge. And then just kind of a trade secret, right before you cut them, throw them in the freezer for about a half an hour and that's going to help you kind of get a nice clean cut. Anytime you've got like a gooey, sticky middle of any sort of thing, like a brownie or a cheesecake bar, kind of throw it in the freezer for a couple of minutes. Well, throw it in the freezer because that doesn't make a mess. Place it softly in the freezer. And half hour, 20 minutes. I know we've already waited like 16 hours now, but it's worth the wait. So, and it will be much easier to cut these up. So, like I said, we put the parchment paper in yesterday, so this is going to help us take these out of here. All we're going to do is trim along the sides, just run a knife along the side that doesn't have parchment paper, and we can pull it right out. So, I'll show you how easy this is to do. Alright, and there you have it. It's a Snickerdoodle, it's a cheesecake, but either way, it's the best of both worlds. You gotta try these. Thanks for joining me. We will see you next month. Until then, have fun cooking.